So I finally got around to playing Hollow Knight. Haven't beaten it yet, but I have made my way to the kingdom, and I wanted to talk a little bit about how I believe Hollow Knight does a great job at immersion. In my opinion, immersion is accomplished in a few different ways depending on genre and style. For example, Dark Souls accomplishes immersion through its difficulty. There's a thrilling fear with every corner you turn that can result in imminent danger or the safety of a bonfire. The world design I would also attribute in making the world feel lived in. Or I guess dying in, given everything is ending. Husks, bodies, and graves do a great job of increasing this feeling of a world already forsaken. But I also think immersion can be accomplished from a certain perspective change. With Resident Evil 4, you're looking over the shoulder. You can see Leon's movements and actions while controlling where he faces and where he goes. For the horror in the first half of the game, I think it does a good job at teasing your imagination and fulfilling the anticipation with attacks from monsters. Though it could be argued that yellow paint breaks immersion, and I do believe that is a fair complaint, I do think it still tends to blend into environments when just looking in on the game. The more you play the game, though, the more you feel its gamified aspects, which I think can then break the previously mentioned immersion. And then you have first-person perspective. I would cite the Doom series for doing a great job at this. All finishers, combat, engagements, everything happens in the first person, making you feel like some sort of, I'd say, killing machine that even hell fears. And I mean, for me, I just kind of always felt like side-scrollers had a hard time with immersion. When I think of side-scrollers, I think of Super Mario Bros. And that feels like a game. New Super Mario Bros. Feels like a game. Even Odyssey, I think, feels more like a game than ever. But that's not because of the perspective, it's more of the tonal shifts between locations that completely broke my own immersion. And I think maybe the same soundbite for every moon. And also, there should not be a Dark Souls style dragon boss either in a Super Mario Bros. Game. And to even get closer to Hollow Knight, I never did feel like Metroid had that same immersion that I was kind of looking for. Every door you go through, you watch as it transfers you to the next area. Secrets kind of felt cheap and overly cryptic. And while most feature a world full of monsters, none of the 2D Metroid games really caught my attention like the 3D counterparts. So I would argue the 2D side-scrolling perspective has been a difficult seller for me when it comes to overall immersion in a game. First person, or loud gameplay in your face, I typically view as more immersive, even if it is potentially cheaper. So, I was quite surprised when it came to Hollow Knight. I expected this game to be way more like Metroid. However, when the game started, this was all I heard. Then I wandered through a series of tunnels into a city, and this was all I heard. Looking back at footage, I'm kind of a spaz with my knife. But maybe less is more when it comes to immersion. Maybe I won't keep on making this video longer, just to keep you immersed. But nah, I want to keep on talking about Hollow Knight. So I hopped down a hole, and I began to wander. I heard a whistling, and I stumbled upon a caterpillar making maps. When characters speak in Hollow Knight, aside from the ambience, it is simple hums and herms. It's peaceful. I would almost say cozy. But the environments all feel different. Going left, I was in a more woodland area that I would compare to Kakariko Village from The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Somewhat cheery. It was at this point that I kind of like really noticed how distinct this area was to the last. And I mean, there was also I'd say a mine shaft area. I mean, as I made my way towards the castle, it got, I'd say, even more distinct. I mean, as I'm editing this video, I kind of want to avoid cutting out every gap in my own speech because I'm noticing just how much the sheer lack or the absence of things that I'm used to in this game, Hollow Knight, are having an effect on me. I mean, as I kept on making my way through the, I'd say, grass area, center path, I suddenly stumbled upon the Fog Canyon. This completely different colored and stylistically gorgeous environment that I would compare completely to the center path like, I'd say in a different lane, just because of how different they are, how much they would clash, but somehow the game did a fantastic job of blending them together and allowing for a natural transition while at the same time being so vibrant. Lately, I have almost solely been playing Dark Souls. I beat DS1, went on to 3, and jumped back into Sekiro. While I completely enjoy those games, they are not the best way for my cortisol levels. Oh shoot. Punishing games like the Souls games are incredibly satisfying when you succeed against grand foes. However, the times between the successes can be so frustrating. And HollowKnight, it's done a great job providing a yin to that yang, an opposition that keeps me enjoying video games. And I don't want to even act like HollowKnight doesn't have difficulty. I wandered a little bit further, and I found this sort of spiked area that was a mobility puzzle, or skill check, I guess, that I made my way through my first try. Not to brag, but just an incredible reward. After I completed it, I stumbled upon another bug that I had talked to before, who said he was in pursuit of something greater. And that was when I got to the so-called kingdom. It's in this area that I really noticed sort of the style and the way that I'd say the design of HollowKnight itself is set up. You have all these moving layers in the background that create this vast scale of this kingdom, making it feel lived in. And that critique on perspective, especially 2D, being a weakness, is just completely nullified because of that artistic detail. And that has got to be what has me hooked on HollowKnight right now, is this environment, this artistically driven, simplistic, yet I would say just capturing world. It is something that I do think is special, and I am going to continue to enjoy exploring it. I look forward to it. I did fight a boss afterwards. It was fairly easy. I look forward to the difficulty ramping up in HollowKnight, but that's not been what sold it for me. It has been the environment, and it's done what Metroid couldn't do for me, and it's made a fan out of me. I really do appreciate this game for that. But yeah, honestly, this is a fairly different video type for me. I was actually surprised with how it turned out, and I really enjoyed making it, actually. Probably was my funnest one so far. So if you did like it, if you did like anything that I tried in it, if you had any critiques, just put them in the comments. I don't got a problem with that. And feel free to like and subscribe if you want to. I will plan on making more HollowKnight videos, as well as a Destiny one coming up. I just didn't have the game downloaded. I was writing the video. But yeah, that's about it. I'm excited to keep playing this game.